Well, welcome to the Millionaire Mindset Book Club. Today's Monday, the 25th of September. There are 97 days left. 97 days left in 2023. We are reading the book Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins, and today we're on chapter 5, right? So we're a week in to the relaunch of the Millionaire Mindset Book Club, and glad to see you here. And remember that I take these and drop them into YouTube, and so they're on my YouTube channel as well, and I will post those to the group and to the Millionaire Mindset Book Club group, and a couple other places too. They're on LinkedIn, but anyway, on my Facebook channel. So chapter 5 today, the 7 lies of success. There are a couple of things in this chapter that I don't 100% agree with, but we can and maybe chat about those. Tony Robbins says the first step towards excellence is to find the beliefs, right, that guide us towards the outcomes that we want. The path to success, he says, is knowing your outcome, taking action, knowing what results you're getting, and having the flexibility to change until you're successful, right? So he's already talked about this, that, we know where we want to go. We put the things into place, the things into motion to get there, and we have the ability, we have the mental capacity to say, hey, wait a second, this isn't quite working the way I want to, and being flexible enough to change a little bit. So you have to find the beliefs that support your outcomes, the beliefs that get you where you want to go, right? And so he says that the word lies, when he says lies in this chapter, it is as a consistent reminder that we don't know for certain exactly how things are, right? He in an earlier chapter, he talked about a line, right? A line drawn on a piece of paper, right? And it was drawn sideways. It was drawn like this as a curve. And he says, is that a convex line or a concave line? And the answer is, well, it depends on which direction you're looking at it from, right? And so that's that's what he's talking about when he says we don't know for certain exactly how things are, right? Once we know that the line is a convex line, I guess that's this way, then we can no longer see it as a concave line, or vice versa. And so the word lie, he said, does not mean deceitful or dishonest, but rather a useful way to remind us that no matter how much we believe in something, we should be open to other possibilities and continuous learning, right? So in order to model excellence, we have to start with the belief systems of excellence. And so he has 7 of them, and we'll talk about those. Number 1, everything happens for a reason and a purpose, and it serves us. I think that we cause things to happen. I think that we can use anything that happens, it depends on how we react to anything, right? It depends on how we react to anything. I think when we say it, that everything happens for a reason, and a purpose, it's like a puppet kind of thing, right? It's that everything that happens is already predestined, and I don't believe that. I do believe that we have the ability to change and to do things, and when we do something, it may not be the right thing, but we have the ability to change that. We have the ability to use the results of that and to make things happen a different way. Belief number 2, there is no such thing as failure. There are only results, right? And so he uses the words outcome and results instead of failure versus success, right? They don't see people that are successful don't see failure. They don't believe in failure. It does not compute. All we get are results. They're either good results, or they're either positive or negative results. And again, we have to be flexible enough to be able to take those things into account and say, okay, I need to adjust this way. So he says, people always succeed in getting some sort of results, right? Positive or negative. Then they use what they've learned, right? If if it's not exactly what they want, then they use what they learn and they adjust, right? They take new actions and produce new results. So think about it. What is the one asset, the one thing that you have today, the one benefit that you have today over yesterday? And the answer is experience, right? The things that you did yesterday, that's experience. It's data that you can use, right? People who fear failure make internal representations of what might not work in advance, right? They don't have the data to show that it works or doesn't work, right? And that's what keeps them from taking the action that could ensure the accomplishment of their desires, right? You can learn from every human experience and therefore always succeed in everything, anything that you do, right? He said, Mark Twain said, there's nothing sadder. There is no sadder sight. There is no sight more sad. I'm not the grammarian. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist, right? A young pessimist. Winners, leaders, masters, people with personal power all understand that when you try to do something and you don't get the outcome that you want, that is not failure. It is simply feedback, right? Feedback. He asks, take a minute to reflect on the 5 greatest so-called failures in your life. What did you learn from those experiences? Chances are they were some of the most valuable lessons that you learned in your life, provided that you do something with it, right? Provided that you do something with it. Belief number 3, whatever happens, take responsibility, right? Whatever happens, take responsibility. Grant Cardone says the same thing, right? You're responsible. You are responsible. Your success is your responsibility, right? Your mistakes are your responsibility. Take ownership, right? Take ownership of everything that happens, right? You are responsible. Belief number 4, it is not necessary to understand everything in order to be able to use everything, right? You surround yourself with people that are smarter than you in certain areas, right? In areas where you are weak, right? Don't try to spend all of your time getting better at something that is not a strength to you. There are people out there that is a strength to them. Utilize those people, right? By observing specific people, successful people, right? He was talking about modeling, right? So in modeling, he says, by observing successful people to discover what specific actions they create to produce results, we're able to duplicate their actions and thus their results in much less time, right? Time is one of the things that nobody can create for you, right? I'm a firm believer there's no such thing in time management, right? Time just ticks away, right? We have no control over that. What we do control is ourselves, right? So we have self-management. Time is something no one can create for you. In order to effectively use the information that's in this book or in any book that's written by somebody that's successful, that's telling you how to do something, right? In order to effectively use all that you are in this life, you need to discover there's a difference between use and knowledge, right? You can spend all your time studying the roots, or you can learn to pick the fruit, right? Successful people aren't necessarily the ones with the most information or the most knowledge. They're the ones that actually go out and use the stuff, right? Knowledge put into action is the power, right? Belief number 5, people are your greatest resource. So that ties into the one before. Belief number 4, individuals of excellence, people who produce outstanding results, almost universally have a tremendous respect and appreciation for people, right? What other people can do. And belief number 6, work is play, right? Do you know anybody that has achieved massive success by doing what they hate to do? Maybe it's just me, but as I seem to feel like as I get older, I have less and less patience for people that don't like what they're doing. Specifically, or maybe especially, those people that are working in the service industry, right? If you are working in a coffee shop or a restaurant or retail establishment, and you don't like what you're doing, I want to tell you, quit. Just quit. Go off. Do something else, right? Because it's certainly not helpful to me. To put up with somebody with an attitude, right? So he says, work is play. One of the keys to success is making a successful marriage between what you do and what you love. The secret of success is making your vocation your vacation. You really have to like what it is that you're doing, right? If you decide that work is mere drudgery, just a way to bring home a paycheck, chances are it's never going to be anything more, right? I asked somebody the other day about something that they were doing, and how's the new job, right? And the answer I got was it's a job. Well, you either got to find some way to make that more enjoyable for yourself, or move on, right? I think. And belief number 7, there is no abiding success without commitment, right? No abiding success without commitment. People who succeed have a belief in the power of commitment. There is no great success without great commitment. You think about you got to put your heart into it, right? You have to put yourself into it. I was reading about the real estate market, right? It's just three things that you need to do to be successful in today's real estate market, in the upcoming real estate market, right? And they were really talking about commitment and hard work, and the fact that the way that the market is, and the way that the market is going, and the number of people, and the competition, and the lack of inventory, and all of that kind of stuff, that this is not the time to be thinking about balance, right? This is the time to be thinking about, what do I need to do to get ahead in my business, right? And being willing to put the time and effort into it. And again, this is not specifically for people that are in real estate, but if you're working in real estate, and I always ask this of people that are coming into real estate part-time, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to give up to be successful in real estate? Because if you're working all day and Monday through Friday, or whatever it is, then, what are you willing to do after 5 o'clock, for your real estate business? What are you willing to do on Saturdays and Sundays? I don't want to go show houses. I'm tired. I worked all week. If you're not willing to give something up, Netflix, you're not willing to give up that, binging that latest episode of whatever it is that you're watching on Netflix or Apple TV or whatever, it's going to be hard. You're going to have a hard row to hoe, right? So he says he talks about his ultimate success formula, right? Know your outcome, model what works, take action, develop the sensory acuity to know what you're getting, right? So that's the know when things aren't going right, and be able to adjust. And keep refining it until you get what you want, right? It is the quality of commitment that separates the good from the great, right? The quality of commitment that separates the good from the great. So those are Tony Robbins' 7 lives of success, right? His beliefs. Number 1, everything happens for a reason and a purpose, and it serves us. Number 2, there is no such thing as failure, only results. Number 3, whatever happens, take responsibility. Number 4, it is not necessary to understand everything in order to be able to use everything. Number 5, people are your greatest resource. Number 6, work is play. You gotta like what you do. And number 7, there is no abiding success without commitment. So there it is, 15 minutes a chapter a day. Think about that. One chapter a day. In the past, we've done typically a chapter a day of a book, and we've done 12 to 13 books in a year. And yeah, that's all it takes, right? A little bit of commitment, right? A little bit of commitment to making yourself better every day, right? So that was chapter 5, Ultimate or Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. And tomorrow morning, we'll get to chapter 6, Mastering Your Mind, How to Run Your Brain. And I appreciate you being here, Jacqueline. It's good to see you, even if you're not there. I know you're really there, but it's good to see you again. And I look forward to seeing you on future episodes of Millionaire Mindset Book Club. If you know somebody that this can be helpful for, share the links, right? Appreciate that. And make sure when it comes out on the YouTube that you like the video, and make a comment, whatever. And we'll see you all tomorrow morning right here, 5:45, Millionaire Mindset Book Club. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.